Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and this is my Survivor Series prediction video. I've been doing these for the last couple Premium Live events, and I've been enjoying them. So I figured Survivor Series, of course, is right this weekend, Saturday. So let's see how it stacks up. There's only 5 matches on the card, so I do think that we might get a little bit of extra surprises. Kind of like everybody believes Survivor Series is kind of one of the big four Premium Live events. So I'm assuming we will get something. We're going to get something. We already know Randy Orton's coming back, which we'll discuss in a few minutes. But will we get something else? We shall see. So, first match that we know for sure is Carlito versus Santos Escobar. They've been playing it up. I really believe it was going to be a Santos Escobar versus Rey Mysterio type of match, but they didn't have the ability to do it because Rey is out right now. So I think it's going to be, Carlito versus Santos Escobar, and I think they're just going to kind of, put that out there, like that. It's going to be, something that Santos Escobar is going to be trying to, I'm assuming, get over with LWO and maybe even get somebody else. I'm not sure. There's a couple people out there that he could make a new group. I think that's kind of what they should be playing for. Just let the LWO stay the LWO and have Carlito take over it. But again, I really don't think this one's like kind of a slam dunk pick. I think Santos Escobar wins handedly because you don't do that big of a heel turn and all that type of stuff just to let him lose his first match that he's a heel. It just doesn't work like that. I think for sure Carlito wins. I mean, for Santos Escobar wins and Carlito just kind of, has a good showing. I think it's going to be a good match, but I think that's what they're going to do, and it either will make the LWO have to pick, which they probably would stay with Carlito, and then maybe he gets another group together and they can have more of a back and forth, which I think will really help. Next up, we got the Intercontinental Championship. It's Gunther versus The Miz. I've liked what they've done with The Miz. They've kind of made him a face, but also that, he hasn't really changed who he is, so it's kind of cool. I think that they did pretty good with that. I think, their promo battles between each other so far have been great, and I'm really excited to see the match. I feel Gunther still wins it. I think, they're not done with the story of what Gunther's going to do. I think if we see him lose it, it'll be like Royal Rumble or something, or maybe closer to Royal Rumble, because then I think he might run the gauntlet and maybe have a chance. You never know, but I think Gunther's in he's up there to either hold on to the championship to either be dethroned by Ludwig or somebody else that is kind of a higher card talent, going lower, which The Miz does fall under, but I just don't see it being right here. Now, out of all the picks, I think this one could flip. It really could, because I feel like The Miz could definitely win it, and it would be a good person for Gunther to lose the title to, and they could still have a back and forth before Gunther goes after the World Heavyweight title. But I think there's a story to be told with Gunther still holding on for a few more Premium Live events. But again, it's a 50-50 shot on this one. I think this one's going to be the hardest one to pick, but we shall see. Next up after that is Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark. I like Zoe. I don't think there's any way that she wins this. I think Rhea wins in a landslide. I mean, I think it's going to be a good match, but I think out of every match, this is the lock, the 100% lock that Rhea's going to win. It's going to be a good match, though. So I think they're going to give Zoe. It's definitely not going to be like a just squash fest like they did with Natalya a while back. I think Ripley will go, enough that she'll go toe to toe and have a little bit of a challenge, maybe a couple close calls and stuff. But I think that's where we're gonna see that. Next up, we'll go into the last two War Games matches, but before that, let's see what else will happen. Obviously, Shinsuke Nakamura has been hinting at somebody, and a lot of people are gonna think, oh, it's CM Punk, and if it is, this would be the logical time to have CM Punk come down and fight, Shinsuke Nakamura. I would love that if that's what they're gonna go for. It's either Punk here or Punk never, I would say. So if it happens that way, cool. If it doesn't, I don't really know who Nakamura is talking about, so that is a little concerning that he doesn't, there hasn't really been any other people that can rather fit underneath that. Other than that, we heard, there's been a little bit of inklings of maybe adding one more match, which would be LA Knight versus Solo, which would be pretty cool. I think both of those But that would be a very hard match to pick. I couldn't see you putting LA Knight having back-to-back losses with the way that they're building him. But I mean, I guess if Jimmy again costs him the match, you kind of set up protection for both of them. That's if that match even happens. I mean, I guess we would know on SmackDown, but like knowing that probably if that happens after I've already done the video early this time, probably would seem about to be correct. Just to mess me up a little bit. But let's go with the first War Games match, which would be the women's War Games match. It's going to be Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control, which is with Asuka and Kairi Sane, Io and Bayley. But yeah, honestly, this match is set up for Damage Control to have to win this because like they are trying to be a dominant heel faction and they don't have any wins under their belt. They've really been stopped by Bianca and Charlotte. And, even with Becky adding into that, unless Becky, like, turns on Charlotte, which would be kind of out of the pocket, but I guess it would fit to, like, the last couple things that they were going for, would be the only way. But I guess that's why I feel Shotzi's in this match, because I think Shotzi's going to be one taking the pin. And I'm going to be calling it that Io should be the one that delivers the pin to win the match. I mean, she's the women's champion. She needs it the most out of those four. So I'd like that. I mean, it's weird that we don't have any world heavyweight title defenses in this whole pay-per-view, or any world on the men's side. No major title except for the Intercontinental. But yeah, so like we really do need a good showing from our champions that are in the match. So that's what I'm feeling is going to be it. It's going to be Damage Control beating them with Io pinning Shotzi for the win, and I think it's going to be a really awesome match. I think we're going to see a lot of spots. We're going to see Bayley very like unsure about her other three teammates, and I think it might make her act a little funny. But I do still want them to win, and I think that would be kind of a cool, momentum, thing, or like thing that we've been looking at for Damage Control to finally get like a really big win. Next up, we got the final match, which would probably be the main event for sure. It's the men's War Games match, which is Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Randy Orton coming back, and Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, JD, and Drew McIntyre. So I think we're going to get a lot of cool spots on this because obviously with Randy coming back, there's going to be a lot of question marks. I do believe, just straight off the bat, I'm going to pick the Judgment Day, but I believe they lose because Randy turns on Jay or Cody. I think he turns on Jay. Cody goes to defend. Randy basically just, hey, I want him. I don't want you. Cody defends him because that's just what Cody does. And then that sets off Cody and Randy for the next 1 or 2 premium live events until we get to Royal Rumble. And I think that would be pretty cool. Like, I think that would be really cool. I would love to have that set up that, we would have a lot of cool stuff happen with Cody and Randy. But that's just kind of how I feel is going to happen. I do believe that they should win the match, the babyface side, but I think that's what's going to happen. I'm trying to figure who would take the pin. Maybe Jay taking the pin because he's knocked out by Randy, and it being Drew. I think Drew's the one that gets the pin. I think Drew pins somebody on their side, possibly Jay, because I think that would be the most ideal, because if Jay gets pinned by getting knocked out by his own teammate, nobody really thinks Jay's weaker, and on the other side of the Judgment Day, nobody really needs that pin. I mean, obviously JD, because he's like the lowest member, but I don't think they're going to want him to give that, so Drew pinning Jay is how it ends, with Randy Orton turning on their team, setting up Randy and Cody for the next couple months, and I'd be down for it. Like it would be cool. It'd be a really good thing to really build on this whole storyline, and possibly with then the Judgment Day trying to hold on to Drew in their groups could possibly be something that could be interesting for a dynamic. And yeah, one day we'll get a Damian Priest cash in. I don't know when it's coming at this point. It feels so out of place. I say there's a 0.0000000 chance that he cashes in, because obviously he's not going to have the ability to in there with Seth Rollins, and with so many people stopping him would be a really stupid idea, even though he has his teammates. But yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking. So I don't. I guess my prediction if they're gonna have somebody show up, I'm gonna just hedge my bet and say CM Punk. I really do believe that the WWE is done with him, but if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen here. We possibly could see a lot of like not really comebacks, but just having some a lot of people show up for the Santos and Carlito fight. Imperium might get involved with the Miz and Gunther. I really don't think so. And if they do, I have a feeling it's going to be Ludwig maybe trying to cost Gunther the championship and failing at it. And then maybe that sets up a rivalry. Because I kind of like Ludwig Kaiser taking the title off of him. I think it would be like this weird thing where if he takes the title off of him, it makes sense and it doesn't make Gunther as weak compared to he losing to anybody else, because it makes sense that Ludwig would have an advantage to take on somebody that's mentored him. But that would be for like a later pay-per-view. Other than that, I don't really see anything else too crazy happening. I've been racking my brain. I can't think of anybody really surprised coming back because I don't know anybody that's near. We knew Randy Orton would be. I think they pre-announced Randy Orton, so there would be no CM Punk because then people won't be like, oh, somebody's coming up. It's going to be their teammate. And no. And, if we do get a Solo versus LA Knight match added onto that, that'd be really cool. But as this time of this video, there's only 5 matches. So tell me what you guys think in the comments below. And we'll also do a rating of all the matches that probably be out Sunday right after this. So, yeah. You guys have a nice time. Bye, guys.